we're up to the main event.
Okay.
Match number 5: Willie Mack, Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. One thing I will say, this was the best I've ever seen Eddie Edwards look in a long, long time.
Eddie Edwards had something to prove.
Yeah, he had something to prove for once.
Yeah.
He wasn't phoning it in. Rich Swann hits the Phoenix Splash on Carl Anderson for the win. As I mentioned, it did not even peak 3,000 on Twitch.
Yeah.
Um,
here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I gotta say this. I now realize, and I can confirm it, that all the hype about Kenny Omega that Dave Meltzer did was bullshit. All the hype. I was fooled into thinking this guy was a good wrestler, like everyone else. He's not. He's basically Eddie Edwards, just with a better. Basically, Dave Meltzer is his. I kind of feel like Don Callis is a parody of Dave Meltzer. Like how Dave Meltzer treats Kenny. Kenny Omega is not that good. He's not. He is good at moves. He's good in the ring, but he doesn't have the presence that even a guy who could not talk on the mic, Chris Benoit, he doesn't have his presence, or an Eddie Guerrero, or any of these other guys who are the best. He comes across as goofy, and being in that ring tonight was like, this guy is on the same level as Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann and Willie Mack. He's not above them. It like if John Cena walked in that ring, it'd be like, holy shit, you know what I mean? But he just doesn't have it, and we've been fed a bill of goods about him. And the moment I realized this guy's not a good wrestler, it was all bullshit. Was I was about to call it Hardcore Justice, the barbed wire exploding match. Is when I realized Kenny Omega's not very good. Because it's easy if you have Okada and you have all these other guys and you get an hour to fucking steal the show. That's real easy, all right? Mm-hmm. But a 10-minute match like this, you know what Eddie Edwards did? Eddie Edwards basically said, you're not better than me. And that didn't elevate Eddie Edwards. That made me realize Kenny Omega's a fucking loser. Like, the worst things about AEW are the 4 main guys: Cody, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. If you got rid of those 4 guys, I think the company would be in 20 times better shape.
I wouldn't say those are the worst people in AEW.
I think because the show's focus around them.
Oh.
And it's always going to, because they have a say, because Tony Khan kind of made them like almost like co-owners. Mm-hmm. It's not, you don't need them anymore. You needed them in the beginning, you don't need them anymore. But Eddie Edwards stepping up like this just made me realize, like, Kenny Omega's Eddie Edwards. Like, he's just saying, he's not John Cena or The Rock or Roman Reigns. He's fucking Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, but some people will say it took someone like Kenny Omega to bring this out of Eddie Edwards tonight.
Yeah, because Eddie Edwards was probably knows that people like me and you think he's nothing, he's garbage, and he is. This is my thing. He looked great, but he's not that fucking. He's basically, what do we say about him and Sami Callihan? They're like the high school players who never left high school or something.
Cool, Sami and Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, remember we were shitting on them in January at that pay-per-view. They never left their little town, right? But here's the deal. So Kenny Omega comes to town, and Kenny Omega is like, oh, this is the guy who's like a huge star. And basically Eddie Edwards showed him up tonight.
You know what? Kenny Omega was the New York comic coming into
small town, and the small town comic has a better set. It's like, you're not better than me because you're from New York. Yeah, that's what it was. And
I've had that happen where I've come into a small town billed as a New York comic, and this comic girl there just started shitting on me for no apparent reason. You know that? And then like she shit on me backstage, and then she shit on me during her set openly in front of everybody, right? And then I went and I had to like address it right away, and I just want everybody fucking back on my side. It was just like, but yeah, that's
all
basically.
Right, well, you're better than Kenny Omega, so.
Yeah. No, but that's exactly what it is. It's a small town guy. I was like, you're not gonna fucking show me up in my town. Yeah.
Eddie Edwards is a small town guy. This deal with Impact, I think, has ruined Kenny Omega. I went in thinking that, Kenny Omega is going to unify every company. He's a great, you know what? I was wrong. He's actually a pretty good wrestler. And all of this Impact shit did was confirm to me that this guy sucks. Because I was starting to get fooled over the past year that he was actually the fucking best, that no one's better than him. And I even believed that in January. And then once this stuff with Moxley and his floating ring happened, and he's on Impact, he can barely cut promos. It's like, oh, this guy's just as bad as everybody else. He's not special.